Welcome to the recap, where we go over the message from the previous Sunday/Wednesday. We are in the final week of Questions from Jesus. The message this week.
Great series.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's been actually
Just wonderful. One of the best ones we've ever
I would
done.
say probably best series yet. Yeah.
No, it's not the best. No.
Oh.
But really good.
Out of the ones you can remember, what's the best series in the history of our church?
I would say every series from January 22 to today.
On.
Yeah. They've been very good. Do you know why? I mean, you guys know my kind of thing. Mm-hmm. It's great to talk about how to get along at work, right? It's life and all that. But so you're only going to work 40 years. Is it really the most important? We've been talking about Christian things that matter since January in all of our series. Loved it. Think life-changing stuff that is true, core, God and us, and every one of them have been.
Just wait till the next series.
Oh yeah, I know.
Oh.
Yep.
No spoilers.
This is the weakest since January, but still
This
awesome.
questions?
Oh yeah.
Oh.
But
I don't think
really
we had
good.
a weak.
No, but I'm saying in comparison, this would be the least. But this still isn't better.
So you think you thought Hurry was better than this one?
No, that was that this year?
That was.
Okay, I thought that was a total waste of time. Forget it. Right?
What?
That was
Total
the
waste
very
of
beginning
time.
of the year.
That was a great series. Maybe you're not the right demographic for that series.
Right.
You're retired.
Okay. I'm still too busy to watch 4 hours of TV a day.
Not everybody's too busy to do that. Some people are busy doing that. Anyway,
Let's move
we
on.
did recaps on those messages already.
Yeah. So now we're up to speed. That was the recap of the recaps.
Should we recap the whole year before we get to this week?
Now this week the question was, do you understand these things?
Yes.
Do
It's
you understand
familiar.
all these things? Is that-
We've talked. I know I personally have. We've talked about this very thing. I think even just several weeks ago it was kind of in a message. But what an amazing question! Stops me in my tracks. I'm glad I was able to do it because it's really a personal driver of my whole life. Like, do you get this? Do you get? And if you listen to the message, obviously, you kind of get the idea that every single human being is going to heaven or hell. Do you get that? And only those who put their faith in Jesus Christ will be in heaven. Everybody else is going to hell, to an eternal lake of fire. We don't like to think of that. And I think what's really weird is that even as Christians, we might know that here, but so oftentimes we wouldn't verbalize it, but somehow we think, but everybody, they're okay anyway. They're okay. We kind of get this idea, we lose this idea that, well, we know Jesus said that, we believe that as Christians, but do we really believe that? Mm-hmm. And I love what Jesus' answer was, and the example of the apostles is, hey, listen, if you understand what I just said, everybody you know, no matter how good they are, how nice, how friendly, whether their dad was a pastor or they went to church their whole life, do you understand that there is a day coming? Every human being will be judged according to, are they right with God or are they not? Mm-hmm. That simple. Every human being. And I almost see Jesus leaning forward. Do you understand? Grabbing them by the collar. Do you get what I'm telling you?
Collars?
Do you get it? Look around. Every human being. And if you
Little
get
white
it.
ones.
Anyway, the motivator is, if you get this, you will do whatever you can to reach everybody you can. And so, Anyway, that's what it's about. And I'm still frustrated. You guys are frustrated.
Very.
How little impact those words can have on our culture, our Christian culture. You know what? It's so easy to get smart alecky and put people down, which I don't want to do, but it gets so frustrating. There are so many Christian churches around that are more interested in saving the earth than saving eternal souls. I'd get frustrated. Like, what? There are so many Christian organizations more interested in puppies or feeding children, which is a good one. They're more interested in feeding hungry children than these children going to hell for eternity. Feed them if you can, but that better be a secondary. Our motivation, our primary, what drives us, our mission should be salvation to everybody. Saved and die, if that's what it takes. And there have been times in history where that's what it was all about. I mean, you didn't live to be 40, right? Life was hard. But we've gotten so away from the fact of nice people are going to hell forever if they don't know Jesus. Do you get that? You get that?
Mm-hmm.
Have you pondered hell? Do you have any idea what that is like? And it's so
I think you can't share everything in a message, right? You could have gone on for another hour
and a half, 2
on
hours
stuff.
Even the stats of how many people are dying. I didn't share any.
Yeah.
26 people a minute are dying.
The part that's most frustrating to me and probably frustrating to all of us, you talk about Christian organizations and other churches. Yeah, I get most frustrated just in our own, though. Like, that's the part that really, you give this compelling message. Do you understand it? And, like, how come nobody signed up? Like, where, how do you listen to that and not do anything with it? How do you not change?
Hey,
we
he's
talked
talking
about
to me. He's talking to me. Yeah.
We live in such even our own church is such a consumer, mentality or mindset, which part of that we do on purpose to reach the world, Paul's all things to all people sort of stuff. But that transfer, like you didn't tell the story about teaching your grandkids how to use a gun, or we talked about in run through, like going on a diet. If you understand how, like
there wasn't time.
There wasn't time.
There wasn't time.
When you understand and get something, it changes the way you live, right? When you understand what marriage means, well, then you don't go around sleeping with everybody because you understand that. When you understand the risk or how lethal a gun can be, you treat it differently. You all the stuff you talked about. Or when you understand health and like, oh, yeah, okay, I understand you, Jesus, but I'm not going to do anything different. I'm just going to come in, go to service, check it off in box, and then get back to my life.
It was during the run-through, which we've talked about before that people know. We do a run-through ahead of time to see, are we on course? Is it biblically accurate, the message?
I love the run-throughs because they're just raw.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
when you do run-throughs.
I was going to say his run-throughs are raw, yes.
Mine are pretty much...
We should video those.
We should have people come to those and hear the real... Listen, do you...
I'm talking to you?
However, I think I was more pondering the fact of I can't move on in a message, no matter who gave it. We can't really move on to it would change your life because people don't understand. They don't get it.
Yeah, they don't.
You know what? We didn't get past. If people got it, you don't have to tell them to change their life.
Yeah, they just will.
They will.
Yeah.
They will be. I remember my story when I became a Christian, and I tell you what, I wanted to be. I wanted to do whatever I could to reach as many people as I could. I was far from being educated or knowing the Bible, but I volunteered at church for cleanup, usher, whatever I could. I went through everything that there was to do. Why? Because I knew I was a part of what was going to happen on that Sunday morning, that people were going to hear about Jesus Christ. And I just I could not be a part of that with my life. Everybody needs to know. And I don't, like you said, when you understand a gun and how serious it is, you make sure your kids know. Do you understand how? Nobody has to tell you now. Really make sure your kids you get it.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, and you know what? That's why I didn't want to be too negative. Of just, do we get it? Because I can tell the few people who do. I can look at our church and I can point out the people who get it. They get it. That person understands. They get it. Generally speaking, most don't.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, people are going to hell, and I don't care. I'm going fishing. Nothing wrong with fishing.
No,
okay,
no.
That wasn't the point.
Yep.
The point is, somebody else will do it. I mean, yeah, I hope people get saved, but bye. I got my life to live. How do you, if I were going to put that into words, I'll be very careful. If I was going to put that into words, I would say most Christians today, and I mean most Christians today would say, I am glad I believe in Jesus Christ and I'm glad I'm going to heaven. Screw everybody else. I don't give a shyster where they spend eternity. I don't care.
You don't
Yeah.
Go to
pick-
hell. I
Yeah.
don't care.
You might say different words, but everything about your life is
I
that
don't
message.
care.
Yep.
Go to hell. I don't care.
Yep.
I'm
Oh.
not, but
Yeah.
you can.
You may not even say that or not even allude to that, but your
I
actions
feel
are
bad right
saying
now even
that.
thinking that way, but it just
It's
seems
true. It's
so
reality.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I didn't talk about it too much, but I did kind of end it this way. In my 30 plus years of ministry, I've seen every type of ministry there is. I really have. I've been through the the 70s and the 80s and all the different charismatic renewals and different things. The most effective way for ministry, and it's biblical, is through the local church. These Lone Ranger things and these really passionate, I'm going to go just win people and do nothing. You know what? I'm glad you got passion and I'm glad you want to see people saved, but plug into an organization that this is what we are all about together working. Is God's design to win this world, to reach as many as possible.
Yeah.
It is God's plan to work together, everybody doing their part to reach this world.
There's no even hint to any sort of biblical instruction about reaching others, doing ministry, making a difference for God that is outside of the context of the local church. You can't find one thing.
No.
So,
You can go in the Old Testament through prophets and things to find these one-offs, but
Yep.
that is not a comparison to the Church of Jesus Christ. It's just not. But why, you guys, we're talking to the choir, usually are, in our staff meetings and different things we do throughout the church. We talk to our volunteers every week, but that's really preaching to the choir, about how can you answer when Jesus said, and I just see it in such an intimate setting with his 12, he leans into them, I imagine, says, do you understand all these things I just said? Do you understand this? Do you get it? Yes, they said. He said, okay.
And they did.
If you do, that you will be like, he just made up an example, like a house owner who takes out of his treasure what is new, what is old. You will take everything in your resources to reach people. If you understand this, you will not sit by and do nothing. It's impossible.
And the fact is, it goes back to what you said. It showed by their actions. It showed by what followed after Jesus left.
Every one of them gave their lives in service.
Yep.
And like, we talk about a lot. God doesn't call everybody to do the same thing, but back to the I guess the New Testament instruction that why there's been, pastors and teachers and evangelists and all this. Why? To equip the saints, to equip every Christian for the work of ministry, that we all work together to this thing. Not just you guys do it and I'll watch.
Yep.
So I was
We're
wondering,
going to keep doing these. And
I was driving to church.
what's
I
the
mentioned
definition
this.
of insanity again?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, we just
Had
keep.
that discussion.
But let's just do different. Let's do whatever it takes, which I know that you're really trying to do always, whatever it takes. And anyway, that's a whole different topic we should talk about later. However, I really was kind of overwhelmed with this idea of why is the church the place that the parking lot's not perfect and the paint's missing? Why does the church not have more? Why don't the church have marble walkways and stuff like other places in our culture? Why does the U.S. Bank Stadium have everything there to watch sporting events and entertainment compared to the Church of Jesus Christ? Why don't we have all those resources? We should.
Not even U.S. Bank Stadium. Just go to any, 90% of the businesses in our town. Great. Staff look nice. Nice signs. Why? Because we don't understand. We don't understand what's at
If
stake.
every Christian who is an honest Christian would answer that question seriously, I understand. I will engage in this. I understand. It would be different. America would be a different place. Well, the world would be a different place. The world would be a different place.
Well, there's evidence to prove that.
Yes. Yeah.
We've just gotten, complacent or consumeristic or...
I'm glad I'm a Christian, but I don't care if everybody else goes to hell. Is how it appears.
Mm-hmm.
Did I say that offensively?
No.
I don't mean to be
That's
offensive.
an accurate
I
assessment.
just think that's what our lifestyle is screaming. You know, I don't care about you. Oh, I'm gonna get smart now, but I do care about saving the planet, but not eternity. You know, things like that drive me nuts.
Most, not even just Christians, most people, I don't think really care about much besides themselves. You know, we'll put up a picture on social media or we'll, I disagree. But like much beyond that, most even Westerners aren't really concerned. I mean, we want to look like it, but not really concerned. And that's crept into the church. I want to look like a Christian, and maybe I even am, but I'm not concerned with making more Christians.
Right.
So
Jesus asked these very great questions, and it's hard to avoid them if you're honest with yourself and your relationship with God. You can't just skim by it and ignore it. These are really questions Jesus asked his followers. It would be us.
Yep.
For the whole series, each one of these questions, what is our answer?
Well, done with that series. Let's move on to something else that won't
How to
stick.
get along at work. How to get nutritious food for your puppy.
Where? I'm at the edge of my seat.
Got 3 of them.
I got 3 of them dogs. Okay.
Well, good for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll-
I forgive you too.
We'll talk.
That was great.
That was a good line on Sunday.
Well, thanks for joining us, and yeah,
Bye.
see ya.